Hello, what's up, everybody? How are you doing today? I'm well. My good name is Mora Maina. I'm a registered dietitian and I help people to positively shift their relationship with food and their bodies. If you're new here, welcome to my channel. If you're coming here for the second, third time, welcome back to my channel and thank you for clicking. Okay, so lately it is not difficult, or rather it's not rare to find someone who is so conscious about their health, who is conscious about what they're supposed to eat, rather who someone who has a certain condition that actually requires them to actually follow a certain routine, or rather needs to be conscious about what they're eating. So with that said, the marketers are actually taking advantage of our situation in order to make profits, or rather to even make money. So marketers will always use a variety of tricks to make food seem healthier and more appealing than their competitors. And one of the most powerful advertising tool a manufacturer has is the packaging, as this is what we look at immediately before deciding which food to purchase. Speaking of which, our eyes are subconsciously drawn to the labeling of the package. It can be labeled as healthy, gluten-free, fat-free, no added sugars, okay, organic. Okay, and these are some of the things that the marketers are well aware of, yeah, and they know very well some of these things can actually inform your decision to actually buy a certain food product. So this can be very misleading in the long run to health and also to body composition. So in order to minimize the risk of you falling for the marketer's tricks, I've thought about listing some of the most common ones which I come across on a daily basis, so that your defense mechanism becomes stronger the next time you're chucking food into your trolley. Okay, so the first one being fat free. Yeah, one of the most important thing you need to know is fat is actually a very important component of a well balanced diet, and you don't necessarily need to avoid it. Okay, some of these foods that have been labeled as fat free, yeah, could actually contain more sugars, or rather other additives to compensate for the fats, and also to maintain the flavor of that particular food. So that simply means this fat free might not necessarily be healthy, and dietary fats doesn't necessarily make you fat, as long as you're taking it in moderation and the way according to your daily requirements. Okay, and then another one, the next one being no added sugar. Yeah, so one thing you also need to know is some of these foods, yeah, the foods that you eat contain natural sugars. Yeah, so these sugars are naturally occurring in some particular in some particular foods, and sometimes these same foods might be higher in sugar than you actually need. Okay, so it can yes, it might not contain other added sugar, but it can contain artificial sweeteners, okay, or additives, which again might not be healthy to an individual. Another term that is commonly misused is all natural. Okay, so all natural doesn't necessarily mean anything. This all natural food can actually be high in calories, high in fats, sodium and also sugars. Okay, so all natural doesn't equal to that particular food product to being healthy. So that term all natural is actually a meaningless term. Actually, even with the Food and Drug Administration, there is no that clear line to actually distinguish what is natural and what is not natural, because even foods that are genetically modified are considered natural. So you having to say a certain food is healthy because it has been labeled as natural doesn't necessarily mean it is healthy. Another term that is commonly used is organic. Okay, again, according to the Food and Drug Administration, the word organic actually means that food is free from pesticides and fertilizers, but it doesn't rule out the fact that it can contain other artificial ingredients in that particular food. So that one removes it from the equation of being healthy. Okay, another one is gluten free. So again, most people don't necessarily need to avoid gluten, especially those people who don't have celiac disease, or rather cannot tolerate this, or rather not sensitive to gluten, cannot tolerate this gluten. So again, these gluten-free products, if you check it correctly, again, they could be high in other substances, or rather food products or ingredients that might not be also good for your health. So there's so many other terms that have been used out there, and most people are actually misusing these foods. They're taking too much of these foods in the name of being healthy. Okay, but then how do we get out of these situations? Yeah, what are the solutions to our problem? Yeah, okay, we want to be healthy, we are so health conscious, and we want to take charge of what gets into our bodies. Okay, so ignore what is on that packaging. Ignore that which has been written in very bold letters at the front of the package. Why don't you go behind that packaging and see the nutrition facts of that particular food? Okay, food item. So the first thing you might want to look at is the ingredient list. Okay, so the longer the ingredient list, the more unhealthy that food is. Yeah, because that simply means, yeah, these foods contain so many additives, preservatives, yeah, sugars and so forth, having been added to this particular food and making them unhealthy. Also, check the first 3 to 4 ingredients. Are these ingredients healthy? Yeah, if the first ingredients are not healthy, because they're usually arranged in order of abundance. Okay, so if the first ingredients are not healthy, or rather they are not that which you are looking for, then it is safe to say avoid that particular food item. Okay, and then limit those ingredients that are referring to different types of sugars. For example, the sucrose, dextrose, yeah, maltodextrin, syrup, and so forth. Yeah, so this particular food actually contain a lot of added sugars, which can actually contribute to your high sugar intake and eventually lead to you taking more calories than you actually intended to. Okay, limit anything, yeah, that is referring to hydrogenated oils or fats. Okay, because these particular oils are actually trans fats, which have inflammatory properties, which can be damaging to your health. Yeah, and of course, avoid foods that contain too much preservatives, artificial additives, and especially those which have been highlighted as E, with the letter E, and an additional with the and some numbers coming afterwards. Okay, so with that said, I think this is the best way to start you off in your health journey. Okay, which I actually encourage everyone to do so. So with that said, I hope this video was helpful, and thank you guys for watching, and see you in our next video. Bye.